Good morning.
All right. So I hope you can able to see my screen, right?
Karthik.
Okay. Cool then. So yesterday we discussed about that architecture of Git, and it does three virtual workspace, which we discussed over here, right? Yes. So this part yesterday we discussed, any file created by a developer initially, it's gonna be at a working directory. And what are the files if you keep under the working directory? So those files would be considered untracking file. So, if you want to track the file, we just push those files to the staging area. And if the file, if it is present at the staging area, those files, the Git is started to tracking. And once if you have done that, the changes, then let's try to commit. Once if you commit it, it's going to be into the local repo. So that architecture already we discussed. And apart from that, how to define the tag name for your committed ID. So those part, also we have discussed yesterday. So far, do you have any questions on that? Fine. So this is what the architecture which we discussed. Let me upload this architecture over the drive. So let me go to your drive. So which it is Git tool. We started to talking. So I'm just going to upload this architecture. You can track. All right. So yesterday I have shared that attendee sheet. Probably make sure the attendee sheet should be filled. Okay. Every week of Friday, the management they are going to check if you did not mention more than 3 days. If it is blank, then management will disable your drive access. Then you need to drop an email to them. So and so reason. Then it's quite big headache. Make sure that your attendee sheet should be filled in a week. It's a daily basis. If you want, you can, if you do have the time, if you get the time, you can do, or else you can go for weekend as well. I mean, Friday you just fill it up, but before Friday it has to be, before Friday afternoon it has to be filled up. So Friday evening they used to review. Fine. I just want to inform you, that's quite important. It is mandatory process as well. I hope everyone having that attendee sheet access. If who does not have, you do let me know. 1 second, let me share over the WhatsApp group. Please save the link. So until complete our session, we can follow the same attendee sheet over there. All right. Cool then. So today we need to discuss about Git Stash, right? So the Git Stash we started.
Karthik, can you please repeat that tag section?
Tag session. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Karthik.
Okay. Fine. So I'm just going back to your Excel sheet. Excel sheet are able to see?
No, sir.
No? This Excel sheet, I have given the access. Okay, fine. Let me check it in offline. Cool then. So tag name, yes. See, ideally when you committing, right? So you can go and see the log. If I have committed 2 files over here, currently which it is presenting at your local repo. Right, when you go for the tag, it's nothing but we can create the alias name for this commit ID. We could not able to remember this committed ID. You can see this variable we cannot able to remember. So that's a reason for our understanding. Let's try to create the tag name. So you can give a command git tag. Let's say I just want to give the tag name for this committed ID. Let's try to give git tag -a. When I say -a, it's nothing but attribute. So I'm just going to create for file one git tag and -a. It's my attribute. It is created file one, and I can copy this committed ID. All right, so then I can see my message added. Committed ID added. I'm sorry, added tag name tag for file one. So I just passing this message. So once if you're done, you can go to apply the command, which it is git tag. You can see it is tag. If you want to see the statement inside of this file, I can go and apply. I can go and copy this attribute name. You can see it's going to be providing the statement which we insert inside of the file. You can see HTML which we insert on. Yesterday we have created the HTML, so it is there. So tag ideally we are using for our understanding. Apart from that, nothing. Make sense?
Yeah, Karthik, thanks.
All right. Cool then. So the next topic we started, Git Stash. When you go for stash is very important. So the developer, let's say they have created the code. So right now, the code they pushed into that. Initially, any file, if they are creating those file, it's going to be presented to working directory. So if it is at working directory, that would be considered, and tracking file, right? Okay, so here now, what is a use case of stash? Listen carefully. So stash, very frequently we are going to use in real time. Let me give the scenario. You have, the project. So for this project, you have 10 sprint. So sprint 1, 2, you do have until, sprint 10. So you do have 10 sprint. So sprint already yesterday, already have explained. Sprint, it is nothing but, for next to 10 days, the developer, DB team, operation team, security team, what is their job? Right? After 10 days, what is their job? So we can schedule so that we can call it a sprint. So the developer, let's consider here developer one. He started working with the sprint one. He's just creating the file. He just created the file. I can say CSS dot or let's say file dot Java. So he is working on some Java application. Instead of this file, he has completed. He has done 1 to 10 lines. He has completed. Right? So 1 to 10 line. Statement he has done. But the 10 statement, it is not relevant of sprint 1. It is relevant of sprint 3. But as earlier, he has completed his job. For sprint 1, he want to commit only first 3 statement. He don't want to commit rest of 7 statement. So in this case, the first 3 statement, he want to commit. Rest of, he don't want to commit in this. For this requirement, I can use stash. Let's consider instead of the file 3, the first 3 statement he is going to commit. Instead of which file? Sorry, this file.java, right? So this file.java here, he does first 3 statement he want to commit, right? He is going to commit. So once he committed, so then those file will be in the those statement would be considered tracked. But he has completed, rest of 7 statement as well. But the rest of 7 statement, he don't want to commit into the local repo. But meanwhile, he don't want to lose the code. So next sprint, he can go and, commit. So for the next sprint, he don't want to start from the scratch. Already he has done his job. So in this case, the 7 statement, which it is there, right? This 7 statement, I can push into stash here. Stash is nothing but it will create a workspace for incomplete statement. Create a workspace for incomplete statement. So when I say incomplete statement is nothing but which statement you don't want to track. Those statement I can keep inside of the stash area. If I'm keeping inside of the working directory, whenever if I do git status, it will keep on pop up the message, the new statement did not commit. So it will keep on pop up the message. You may get confused, and finally, unfortunately, any other developer, there is a chance to commit into the local repo. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to allow the human errors. So in this case, the 7 statement, I can move from working directory into stash area. Once if you move, Git will not listen. So when I record, the next sprint, if it is started, so the developer can go back to retrieve the statement which we kept inside of the stash area. He could able to, pop out from stash area into working directory. So once if I do pop up, immediately the new statement will get append with the existing statement. So now here you can see 1 to 10 statement. Now already 3 statement we have committed. Then rest of 7 statement you can go and commit into the local repo. When the respective sprint it started, during the time you can retrieve the 7 statement from the stash area. Then it will get append with your working directory. Then you can go for commit. Make sense? Do you have any questions? So ideally here stash what it is doing in the sense, if you don't want to track any statement for the current sprint, those statement you just move from working directory into stash area. For next sprint, it may take another 5 days or 1 week or depends. So if you do have some longer time, until you can keep those statement inside of the stash area, and when the respective sprint, if it is starting, during the time you can go back and retrieve the statement which we kept inside of the stash. I can revert back from stash into working directory. Then the new statement, it will get append with the existing, then go for commit. Any questions on this? Any question?
So far, so good, sir.
Sorry?
No questions. We are good.
Great. So let me do practically. Just come back. So now let's create. Okay, see here. Let me take a file 2. The 2 statement already we have committed. You can do this command git ls-files. You can see. I'm sorry. Git ls-files. It's gonna be listing down what are the files which it is inside of local repo. So already we tracked this file, and let me do this git status command. So there is no file to commit, right? So these 2 statement already we have committed. Now what I'm going to do in the sense, let's try to create 2 more statement, but the 2 more statement I don't want to commit at this moment. So after some time I want to commit, so I can move the new 2 statement to that stash area, when I record, I just go back and retrieve those statement from stash area into that working directory. Let's see here. I'm just going to add two more statements. This is the third line, right? So this is the third line, and this is the fourth line. I'm just passing some statement over here. It's a fourth line. You can see here, I'm just saving, right? So if I do git status, what will be the message? You can see I have done the modification. It is not your new file. It is modified file. I'm just going to do it's popping. You have modified file 2.txt over here. We have done the changes with an existing file. So that's the reason it's popping over here. This file, it is modified. So now already we have committed these two statements. For let you consider for sprint one, we just committed two statement, but still sprint one it is not get completed. So but as a priority for next sprint, I just done my jobs for next two statement which I supposed to create for the next sprint. I have done, but at this moment I don't want to commit into that local repo. So in this case, I can move this statement into the stash area. You just listen here. So what are the changes which I have done? I'm just going to apply the command git stash. See, now if I do see this two statement, it is gone. Can see that which I created, that statement, it is not here. So this statement right now, it is under the stash area. You can see here for a stash, it's going to be providing the ID git stash list, right? See, I have done this command git stash. What it is understanding in the sense, after committed, what are the changes? If we have done those changes, it would be considered, the new statement. Of course, we did not commit, so that would be considered new statement. All this statement, it's pushed into the stash area, right? Mayan Kumar, could you please go on mute? Thank you. So now you can see, I can go and see the git stash list. You can see on stash ID it is created. How we understood the committed ID last in, the recent action will be top of your history. When you go for stash, so the 0 would be considered, recent action. The recent action will be 0. So one more reason, if you're doing some activity with the stash, 0 will become 1 and recent action will become 0. So it is ascending order. Same when you are reverting back from from the stash area, it will be descending order. I'm talking about that history. So the recent action will be 0. So next action, if I'm going to do, so that would be, that would be 0. Previously, which it was 0, right? So that will become 1. Make sense? So stash history, which history, if it is popping, which ID, if it is 0, that would be considered recent action. You can go and do the command. Let me do that command, which it is git show, and I'm sorry, git show. I can see the two statement, the third statement, fourth statement currently, which it is at the stash area. I'm just going to apply git show. So you can see that third line and fourth line, you can see that. So this two statement, it is under stash area. You can see. Now the sprint 2, it is started. So I do want to commit the third statement and fourth statement, we want to commit into the sprint 2. I'm just going to revert back. You can see that git stash list, you can see the stash 0, which it does that the third and fourth statement for file 2. I just want to revert back from stash area into working directory. See, right now, if I do git status, nothing is not popping. Regarding file 2 information, it is not listing down. So that's the reason I stated once if you move the statement from working directory into stash area, Git, it is not going to listen. So
Okay.
it just, yes.
Karthik, when you're doing stash, I mean to say show stash, it's supposed to show only line 3 and 4, is it?
Yeah, for that statement, it's created ID.
But when
So
you try to show that stash 0, it's showing all, all the lines which is there in your file.
yes. Of course, it has to show, right? You mean this one, right? So git.
I'm giving command to show only stash 0, right?
No. So not like that. See here, inside of this file, it's telling third statement and fourth statement. It is here, and along with already we have committed statement also here. Okay, so the original file, it should be like this, but actually in working directory, it is popping only 2 statement. See, if it is not popping the existing, how will it get append? It should get append, right?
Okay.
See here, let you consider first and the second statement, I moved in, it is already committed. And third, fourth statement, we are moving into stash. What you are asking me, only I want to see third and fourth statement into the stash, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
So when the third statement and the fourth statement, only if it is present at stash area, that would be considered first line and second line. When I'm reverting back from a stash to working directory, so third line it's trying to append with the first line, fourth line it's trying to append with the second line, so conflict issue will get happen. So that's the reason all the sequence it is moving, but the stash could understand first statement, second statement already he committed. Only third and fourth statement it is in stash. It could understand. When I'm reverting back, already it knows. You can see it knows first and the second statement it is that the third and fourth statement it's going to be keep it in the respective place. It will not get conflict.
Okay, got it.
Right. So you can see here.
Karthik,
Yes.
I have one doubt.
Mhm.
Now we have already committed first 2 statements,
Mhm.
and then we overwritten on it the third and the fourth statement. Then we
Mhm.
try to put those statements in the stash. But my
Yes.
question is, if we have written already the 4 statements and we have not committed the first 2 statement first itself, so now we want to commit first 2 statement in the stash, and first 2 statement we are supposed to commit, and we are supposed to keep last third and fourth statement in the stash. How can we do that?
You can't do. Great question. Appreciate. You cannot able to do that. See, already the first 2 statement we committed, right? So
Yeah.
what's your question in the sense 3 and the fourth will be there. So I
Yeah.
just want to revert the third statement. I don't want to revert fourth, right?
Um, First 2 statement is already committed. Then we overwritten on it that the third and fourth statement, and then we put those third and fourth statement in the stash. But my question is, we already have a 4 statements in one this one file, and now we are supposed to keep only first 2 in the commit, and
Got
then
it.
third and fourth in the stash. Is that possible?
Right. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
See, what you're trying to say, already I have created 4
Correct.
and you have committed over there. I mean, sorry, the 2 statement you moved into the stash area.
Yeah.
Without knowing that, I have created one more 2 statement in the same place, right?
No, sorry. I think maybe I have confused you. Now we have committed first and second statement. No,
Wait,
we are
wait, wait,
given
wait,
commit.
wait, wait, wait.
Yeah.
Let me write it down. First 2 statement you have committed. Yes, okay.
Yeah. But now my question is, we have not committed any statement yet. So we already have 4 statements, and I want to commit 1 and 2 statement, and then push the third and fourth statement to the stash. Is that
Okay.
possible?
It is that's what I'm doing, right? See, first
But
two statement already committed, and third and fourth only it is in stash. You can see.
but
Hello, Karthi.
we had already committed first and second statement.
No, it
in
is
the
just popping. See, that's what it is telling until you can see the differentiate. Until the statement already you have committed.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these two statement only, we need to commit. It's clearly stating that you can see the differentiate.
Hello.
Yes.
Karthi, she's saying that there are already 4 statements. Like when we creating the file, there are 4 what? There are
Four
four
statements written.
statements. So after that, she needs to push. She needs to commit only the first and second statement.
No,
She
no, no, no,
says
no,
that.
no, 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 no. What she's telling in the sense, she's having a 4 statement. First two
Yeah.
statements she committed.
No, not
She needs to
committed yet.
commit.
I want to commit, and then also I want to push third and fourth statement to the stash. Is that possible?
You are talking. Okay. See, now you just correct me. You have 4 new statement, right?
Yeah.
Out of 4 new statement, 2 statement you want to commit. Meanwhile, I do want to move
Push.
these 2 statement
Yeah.
into the
Yes.
stash, right?
Correct.
I'll make this scenario. Okay, keep in your mind. So the next activity, let me do that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So now, see, we just committed. I mean, let's try to revert back from stash area into working directory. I'm just going to Git stash list. Let's see that. So we do have the stash ID. I'm just going to revert back. You can use this command git stash pop out, and you can paste your ID, right? So now it is going to revert back. Let's see. Now it's trying to append. You can see that. So from stash area, I moved into staging, I mean, working directory. So it's getting, append. Let's see here, git status. So modified file 2. Now let's try to commit the respective sprint. It is started. I'm just going to commit, let's say git add, which it is file2.txt, and I'm just going to commit, write it on your message. My message is added 2 lines. I mean, I'll add 4 lines, right, into the file 2.txt. So now you can see git ls, git ls -files. You can see file2.txt. I can go and go and see the file2.txt. 4 statement you can see already it is tracked. Now, if you want to see the log, git log. So 3 committed ID you can see. So recently we have added 4 lines into the file 2. If I want to see a single line, I'm just going to, so here, so here, oops. Press return of previous regular. Okay. It's getting struggle. Sorry. Okay. So now you can see 3 statement. So I just want to make a shortcut, git log --- online. So you can do this command. So it's going to be presenting 7 variables. If I do git show, I just want to see the statement over here. So now you can see all the statement. Makes sense? All the statement I could able to see it over here. So this, let me put it over here, 4 statements. So the 4 statement at the 4 statement at this point in time, it is in that the local repo. I hope now the stash, is it making sense? So stash, it's nothing but it will create a workspace for incomplete statement. Let you consider one more scenario. This kind of issue also you may face in real time. See, the developer one, he has created, I mean, he is creating front-end dashboard. Okay, he is also working on the front-end dashboard. So both they are working same file. Let's consider first he is working the developer one. So he is working instead of this file .java, he has created fifth statement, and I mean in the fifth line he has created fifth statement, right? And in sixth line he has created sixth statement as well. In sixth line he has created sixth statement. So the two statement which it is done by developer one. So once again he don't want to commit into this local repo, so he is trying to move this two statement which he created in fifth and sixth line. He's trying to move from working directory into stash area. So the developer other developer, he doesn't know which he created fifth and sixth statement on fifth and sixth line. So he is also going to work on the same file in his repo, or so on the fifth line he's creating some different statement. Let's say on the fifth line he is just creating a seventh statement, and let's say on the sixth line he is just creating eighth statement. So let's consider for for the of the same line, two developers, they have created two different statement. So these two statement also, he don't want to commit into the local repo. He is trying to move from working directory into staging area. Now listen here, fifth and sixth line, the developer one, he created fifth and sixth statement, and the developer two, he has done seventh and eighth statement. The statement are differ, but the place it is same. So now the developer one, he's reverting back from stash area into working directory. It's trying to getting append with the fifth line and sixth line. So he's committing. He's committed the developer one. He has done the commit as well. So now the developer two, he's trying to revert from stash area to that working directory. When it's trying to get up, and it is getting conflict because it's telling that already someone, they have committed the different statement in this place. So I cannot able to append. Right, so it does not able to get append with an existing, so it's throwing conflict issue. So in that conflict issue, it's telling that which statement you want to keep, fifth and sixth line and seventh and eighth line. So Git already stated it is not intelligent tool for version control. We should not do any automation, any conflict issue. If you're facing manually, we need to resolve those conflict issue. So here you can see that when you go for the two different statement, which it is on same place, how can we resolve the conflict issue? Let's try to understand. Do you have any questions? And any questions on this? All right, so practically let me do that. See, once again, let me take that file 2.txt, I'm just going to write it down the statement. Let's say fifth line. This is, fifth line. I'm just creating, and developer one, he's creating. This is the sixth line. Once again, I'm just creating over here. So this two statement, which it is done by developer one, right? So let me do git status. Git status, I could see that modified file 2. I just want to move from the working directory into stash area. So now you can see the two statement, it is gone. It is in the stash area itself. Make sense? So now the developer 2, now you can see here the stash ID, git stash list stash ID, it is 0. If I do the command git show and sorry. So if I do git show the stash ID, right? So the stash ID, you can see that it's telling fifth and sixth statement. Until 4 statement they have committed, right? So fifth and sixth statement we need to commit, right? Great. So the developer 2, he doesn't know the developer 1 what he created in the place of fifth and sixth. He doesn't know. So once again, he is going to create the statement. So he is creating, this is the seventh line, right? So, and this is, eighth line is just creating some different statements. See, now I'm creating some, sample statement over here, but in real time, some Python code, Java code will be there. Okay. So we need to understand while resolving the conflict issue, there is some sequence will be there. So we need developer assistance. Without them, we cannot able to make the sequence over there. Let's consider they have created multiple APIs, right? So instead of third API, I just configured fifth API. That would be impact to the production. I mean, any platform, any environment as well. So we should not do that. We need assistance from the developer. If you are facing any conflict issue, you just reach out to them and do the bugs over there, then go for commit with with their knowledge. So once again, I just created two statement. Let me go for stash area. I'm just doing stash before. I just want to show you git status. Once again, it is being modified. Let me do the git stash. You can see these two statement also be moved into stash. Now I'm just going to see that git show. I'm sorry. So now you can see git status. You can see there is no message. So let's say git stash list. You can see two statements or two IDs out there. See, previously you can see here git show. Previously it was popping fifth and sixth line, right? Now it will pop up seventh and eighth line. See here, seventh and eighth line. Why?
The second, the last modification made by
Perfect.
the year 2.
Perfect. You're right. So the recent action, it is considering stash 0, and the previous action it became 1. All right. So now let's try to commit. I'm just going to get stash a list. Now let's try to revert the stash 1. I'm just going to do the command git stash pop up, and I just want to revert back of stash 1. Let's try to revert back. See, now it is up and running. You can see fifth and sixth line. I'm sorry. Yeah.
can we stash this fifth and sixth line again?
No, already started. I popped up from stash to where you're getting down. See, I have done this command and it is getting happened.
Okay, we cannot redo it again, is it?
How will you do? Stash ID will not be the right. So it is deleted.
Okay.
No, in which scenario do you want to do?
No, I by mistake I did meant I just popped out. Okay, I want to restash it again. So that is not possible, is it?
You can do restash in the sense you can do this command, git stash. You can do this command. See, by mistakenly, if you reverted, different line in the sense, once again, you can do git stash. It will be in stash area. Then you can go back and copy the respective ID, do the revert.
Okay. Now this will become 0.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Karthi,
Yep.
I have one doubt. See, you told that there will be 2 developers, right? See, developer one means developer 1 has created up to 4 lines, and developer 2 is creating from 5 to 10 lines, and developer 3 is creating from 10 to 15 lines. Okay, suppose. Can we commit only up to 5 to 10 lines like that by the developer 2, and 10 to 15 lines from the developer 3 stash? Can
Correct.
be
You
done
can.
like
Yes, you can do that. So that is what even here also I have done the same. Developer one, he has created this 2 statement. I just moved into the stash area.
no, no, at the
Uh,
same time I'm telling at the same time
you
it
can.
will be.
Oh, what do you mean to say in the sense 3 developer already they kept the 3 different statement inside of the file. I want to move respective statement to the stash, right?
Yes.
That's you can't see stash is not intelligent. I already stated stash. How will it understand in the sense after committed? What are the changes if you have done all the changes? It's gonna be moved into that stash area.
Okay. Now what you have done is one after one you have stashed them. Right?
Yes.
I'm asking if it can be done by
You can't.
particular.
That's what I have given the answer. You cannot.
Yes.
You
Just
cannot.
briefing. Thank you.
All right.
Karthik,
Yes.
when there are 2 developers working on the same file,
Hmm.
instead of confusing this, can we just make it file 1A, file 2A and file 2B, so that we'll get 2 files, and later after they finish their work, why don't we merge it as file 2 and then commit or put it in the repository?
Okay. See, any applications you can take, you can see only 4 files or 5 files. One will be .java. Okay, another will be CSS, or if you're using PHP, you can PHP extension will be there. I cannot able to make multiple duplicate for .java. So what are the parameter the developer, if they want to do, let them work on the same file. You cannot able to make it copy RAM. So as you stated file 2, I want to let me create file 2A and 2B. It's not going to work out. At the end of the moment, once again, you need to create one more file to commit. How many history will you track? It's getting confused, right?
Yeah, I get that.
Right, you can't do. You should not do. Technically, it will work, but logically should not. See, now you can see that. Yeah, no worries. So git status modified file 2.txt. I mean, we have added the 5th and 6th statement. I'm just going to add the file 2.txt. Let me try to commit, write it on your message or message which it is added, 5th and 6th line. Just giving the statement over here. into, I mean, let me give file 2.txt. So I'm just passing the statement. Now let's see git log -online. So I can see the recent action will be top of your history. So here, fifth and sixth statement we added. But you can see git stash list. You can see that still one more ID, I mean, which it is created by developer 2. So those statements still it is residing at the stash area, but the developer 2, he want to revert back from stash area into working directory. So let me do that command git stash and the pop out. I'm just going to revert back this ID. When I'm trying to revert back, you can see already in the fifth and sixth line, we do have the statement which it is done by developer 1, and the developer 2, he's trying to revert back from stash into the working directory. On the same place, it's going to throw conflict issue. You can see that. It's clearly stating that I'm facing some conflict issue in the file 2. And you can see stash entry is kept in case you need it again. You can see the statement. That's very important. So what it is telling in the sense, if you're facing any conflict issue, I'm just going to keep for the same ID in that stash place itself if you need it again. So previously the stash ID was getting deleted. Now the stash ID is not going to delete. You can see that. Until resolving this conflict issue, it is not going to delete for high availability. So if you are facing this kind of conflict issue, what we have to do manually, you can go to that respective file. I'm just going to go to this respective file. I'm just going to delete. So which statement do you want to keep it in fifth line, and which statement do you want to keep it in 7th and 8th line? Let me do manually. So this one, it is our original statement. I want to keep like this. So fifth and sixth, I just want to keep it in the fifth and sixth line, and 7th and 8th statement, we just want to keep at 7th and 8th statement. So now I'm just going to, you can see that Git status, let's see, both modified. So both modified in the sense when I was trying to get append with an existing statement. So already we have committed fifth and the sixth in that same place. 7th and 8th statement was trying to get append. We were getting conflict, so we have resolved both. Now let's try to commit. You can put together git add and git commit. No need to do separate. I can do I can apply together commands git commit. Let's say -a. When I say -a, it's nothing but adding, and you can give yum, which it is message. So these two command git add and git commit you can put together. So the command will looks like this. And let me try to give the message added 7th and 8th statement, 7th and 8th statement, and resolved the conflict issue. Resolved the conflict issue. So statement is very important. So now you can see git status, nothing will not, I'm sorry, git status, nothing will not pop up, right? So could you please go on mute, Pavan Kumar?
Oh, sorry, sir. My baby is.
Okay. So now I'm just going to, you can see that all this statement, it is in local repo. So I'm just going to give the command file 2.txt, all the statement which it is, in the local repo. But still you can see, the stash list, the ID will be there. So let's try to drop this ID. Git stash drop, and your stash ID, which it is this. So once if you dropped, then there is no ID. It is deleted from the stash as well. So it is the way to resolve. I mean, if you're getting conflict issue in the stash area, so these are the steps we need to follow. Make sense? All right, so I'm just going to copy 40 comments. Side this. Let me put it over. I just prepared the SOP documents, not an issue. Okay. So it is there, but even for I can say. So the head command 557. 557. Okay. It is 558. 550. Oh, sorry, still it is there. It's not taking that. Fine. Anyhow, I do have the SOP document, so you can use those commands. There is some repeated commands only will be there, but understanding the concept is very important. Make sense? Any questions?
Yes.
On this?
Karthik,
Yep.
we have committed line 1, 2, 3, and then put it in the repository, local repository. After it is gone for a testing level, so they found some bug in line 1.
The line
So-
1? Let them do, no problem. If you want to do any changes, do that. Then once again, you can go for commit. I stated yesterday, duplicate copy will be there, right? If the copy will be in working directory, the same copy will be in local repo as well. So after committed, if you want to do any changes, do it over here and go for one more commit. What you have done the changes. That is what we are using version control, right? How many times you are working on that same file.
And it will work from the repository itself. You don't have to go for stash or anything. That is my question.
Nothing. Sir. No. See, for committed statement, why you want to go into the stash? Stash is for untracking statement. Okay, so no need to go with the stash. You just go back to the working directory, do the changes over here because your copy of file will be in working directory itself.
Thank you.
If that statement, if it is at a stash area, make sure that you have to do the changes under the stash area itself. Then you can revert back. You can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, to ensure the file where, where is the presence, then you can go the target place, do the changes. All right. And any other questions? And Kritika, I will do your queries. Okay, in the next class, I will practically let me demonstrate.
Hello.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, Savary.
Yes, I installed yesterday that Visual Studio. How can create a file? How can
You just go and create one folder, make it as your repository. Have you looked into the previous video?
Yeah, yes.
Then it is there clear, clearly stated how will you get into that folder and how will you create the file. You just create the folder and make it as a git init command and create the file. Let you start.
Yeah, that is developing any installation add-on file will be installed or just install that Visual Studio and create a file.
Create folder, make it
Okay.
as a git init command, then create the file.
Okay.
All right.
But
Any-
they should install Git also.
Sorry.
On their machine.
Yes, Shekhar. Once again,
Yeah.
Deepika.
Yeah.
Yes.
what if without knowingly both the developers are adding the same content, what the conflict they are facing?
Could you please repeat? I'm sorry.
Without knowingly both the developers are adding the same content only.
Correct.
I mean same lines. What the conflict they are facing?
No, that's what. See, when you were trying to, it was getting up and right during that time, it was popping that conflict issue. Statement is different, but in the same, see, in that same line itself, how many statement will you able to get up and? It is not best practice, right? So in this statement, you created in the sense I should not touch. If I created, you should not touch.
Yeah, but without knowingly both the developers are adding
Yes.
the same content. Yeah.
Yes, you are right. So without knowing that, they have created on the same place for different statement. They have created.
No. I'm saying that same statement only.
Oh, same statement if it is there.
Yeah.
So here, okay, understood. So here already you created, this is the fifth line. I also created, this is the fifth line. That is also conflict issue, right?
Yeah, what the issue they are facing? They are facing the same. It will display the same content.
Yes. So it will display the same message, conflict issue.
Yeah. Okay. Done. Thanks.
Yeah. Yes, Shekhar.
No, I said, prerequisite, we have to install Git also on that machine. So.
Okay. So any questions? Sanjana, are you able to understand? Excel sheet I will share today. Yeah. Cool then, guys. We'll meet up on Monday, probably. Yeah, tomorrow, Saturday. We'll meet up on Monday. So please try to do all the hands-on before attending on Monday. All right, then. Thank you all. Happy weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hardik, sir.
Yes, Sudhakar.
Sir, I have one doubt. I installed on my PC Visual Studio software. Okay. So I need to practice the commands. So where I can download the commands, all commands?
No, you cannot able to download. At this point, you just follow my video. End of the Git tool, I will provide the SOP documents.
Okay.
Right now, you just follow my video.
Okay. Right.
All right, Sudhakar. Bye-bye. Hey, to be make hello everyone out there. Yes. See, guys, you just make sure fill the attendee sheet. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you.